Your subconscious mind is one with all capacity. You just like God can say, give me a list. The universal subconscious mind is all intelligent, all able, all receptive, since it is that omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence that we have access to when we want to fulfill a goal. So now we find ourselves through visioning, gratitude at night, and practice taking your vision all the way. Not, for instance, like, let's say an actress going for an audition. So she sees herself getting in the door, but she doesn't see herself getting the role. So I say, practice bringing your vision all the way through in love, love, love your vision through. Love it through. Love is light, it is a creative power, it is the force of the universe. So what can you do to help God help you? Love your vision through, okay? And so in the morning, wake up, say, let me spend some time with my idea. It doesn't have to be long, but tune in. Because if you do not, you can see how already your magnetism is not clear, right? If you do not take time to center within yourself, tune in with clarity of what you want your day to be, what your overall goal to be, and whatever, if you do not do this work, then as soon as you go out into the world and stuff starts happening, you're losing it, okay? So vision is our power. So before you go to sleep at night, place yourself in the circumstance. Wake up, place yourself in that. So choice, principle, vision with love, and joy. Fill your vision with joy, with love, with completeness, with fulfillment, to the max degree that you can possibly conceive. Now what follows? Okay, this is doing the inner work. And so we realize that there is no power out there. Each one of us works with God, the creative laws, completely. Each one is the authority in our world. And I am using that creative power. All the power of God, all the force of I am, is behind my words and behind my faithful vision. So my vision brings it through. I don't have to work hard, effort out there, try to get people to go my way. No, my unlimited vision brings it through. Joy is God. Joy is God. We know all masters, have the joy of God because they know this source is my all in all, is everything. I have all. I have the kingdom. I'm not deluded. I don't buy into any more of those things like I can't. All right? And stretch your consciousness to accept the highest and the best. Stop compromising now. Because if you're compromising, you're moving. Every inch we compromise in our life. And say, well, I guess I can't have that. Well, again, you've got to realize that that's not realizing principle. Okay? So every ounce of compromise is like adds a little depth and age unto us. It lowers the will capacity. Choose vision, having, joy. Now what? And this is, well, just to wrap this up for you, very important that you bring your vision through. Practice staying with it. Complete your meditation, your thought pattern every time. So much so that it becomes such an integral part of your being that it has become the law of your life. Okay? The law of your life. Now, what's next? Act as if. We hear this over and over and over again. Act as if. Or people, the mystics will say, well, be it. Be the thing. And you'll have it. Be it. So the law is, I must become the idea in all of my attitudes, the way that I am, the way that I handle situations. I must act as if I have it now, whatever that might be. So when, for instance, when do I get my business? When I become the business now. I act as if I have the business now, with the same consciousness that I have it now. I treat everyone who comes into my life that I have the most flourishing, successful, wonderful business, and that they are my clients. I bring the attitude in now. I don't wait till the thing manifests, okay? I act as if now. Now, if you will think about this, it's very, very important, right? Because we realize that what we project to the law, in silence or in the open, is heard. So I act as if now. The law of mind knows I mean business. I mean business, right? And I don't have any other conflicting idea in mind. And how may this work for me? It works great for you. It ascends you. So let's say, someone wants perfect, right, loving relationship. And they're acting as if, knowing I have it now, though it has not appeared to me, yet I know that I have it now, right? So what happens? Someone comes along, asks for a date. Person may be okay, maybe not okay. Now, if we were thinking, I don't have anything, you might think, okay, well, something's better than nothing, it governs our behavior. But if we know I have this perfect right relationship now, I'm marrying on Sunday. One of my students has moved from a very negative relationship, and she, through her adjusting her consciousness to accept the good that she deserves, she has brought a glorious man, divine, beautiful man into her life, and they're getting married on Sunday. So she said to me, she said, my last marriage was 20 years ago. And she said, I knew, she's been studying, working in metaphysics and understanding, increasing her understanding, doing her work to be ready to draw this, right? But she said, I knew that I could have the highest and the best, and I didn't settle for less. So now, this is the couple who will be together, maybe for eternity. Their very purpose, okay? So, she has the knowledge that even though it has not appeared, yes, I have it now. And so we bring this into our consciousness, and it will change our behavior. If I know that I have the perfect right work now, then I won't say, well, I have to take this. I won't rush to take something. If I can, I will work on the idea that God, a limitless God, that I can have and am meant to have perfect right work. Okay? So that the greater your consciousness of acceptance, you see, and living in it now, and even the great secrets, from a person's moving, what might be interpreted as, we know there's no such a thing, but moving like from a lowly position to the president of a company, has always been through their consciousness. I do have it now, and they have acted in the position where they are, right there where they are, as if they are where they're going. So we don't wait. We know the principle is, I've got to energize what I want now. Okay, I act as if. This is very powerful. Visioning, accepting, embodying, acting as if. It's your decision. Right. See, you'll get whatever you want, and all things are perfect. You can date casually, you can have marriage, you can do whatever you want, so long as there's mutuality, right? That's the law, and no harm. So, but Marie wanted to demonstrate a great relationship that is so, apart, so different. This one is filled with light, and the other has congestion problems and all kinds of things, right? So But in her heart, she was turning her heart, to realize I can because I'm one with God. I'm one with love. Love wants me to have all. Love wants me to. There's this thing like the Father, Mother, or Infinite is love. And when we start equating to this infinite love being the presence of our life, our expectations soar because we know if I ask for bread, I will not be given a stone. We know the Father loves me. So if I ask for a perfect, right job, where I can express myself and so on and so on, I'm not going to be given, something that is so far away from me. That's the stone. If you ask me for bread, I will not give you a stone. Why? Why do we think? Why do we think if we have the kingdom, why do we think we cannot have the highest and the best, or somehow it's strangely not meant for us? Why? Simply conditioning, programming. So the healing we have to do is within ourselves of that negative conditioning, right? Now, okay, so I become my success. When shall I be successful? When shall I be prosperous? When I say that I am. When I say that I am. Not by some our standard. So, when does my word work? When does my prayer, my treatment work? When I say da-da-da. Why? Because I have given the authority through your consciousness over your world. So when you say it's working, it's working. Isn't this interesting? So, people see how we've been trained to be outward. I think the power is out there, the judgment is out there, but the power is all within us. And that which we say, when shall I become prosperous? When I say that I am prosperous. Now. I don't wait for whatever to arrive to tell me I'm prosperous. I establish prosperity in all my ways now. I establish the consciousness, the behavior, the activity, and the prosperous mind now. Okay? Alright, so this is our authority, our dominion, our choice. Now, and again, realize that every time you speak your word, it's going to right into your subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is the creator of your body, it runs your body. It is also the creator of all what we call body, meaning outer conditions. Body, that which can be seen. Right? Body of relationships, body of money, body of work, whatever. That is created by the subconscious mind that is responding automatically to your thought. So this is why I say at night, really thank you, because it seeps deep into the subconscious at the time when your conscious mind is at rest. And many great healings can happen overnight, many demonstrations, because our conscious mind, which usually is filled with everything, a lot of conflicting stuff, is quiet. And our spirit is in the omniscient state. So, if you give thanks to God, the creator, your subconscious mind, for creating for you, on your behalf, the good that you want. And you wake up the next day, and there you are flowing in it. All right? But our conscious participation is to maintain right thought, right vision, right choice, choosing the highest and the best and staying with it, and cultivating these attributes. So, be integrity. Stay in your integrity. What do I want? Now, to have integrity, you need to release wanting control and wanting approval, which is wanting love. Wanting approval and wanting control underlie all turbulent emotions. This is a great, great thing that I learned. And when I started to learn how to release, let go of wanting approval and wanting control. Now, to the degree that we want approval, let's say, Stuart Wilde talks very much about this, very much, speak your word, be who you are, no compromise. So, supposing someone says, well, will you do this for me? And you really don't want to do it or cannot do it at that time. If we feel that we have to live up to a certain standard, or we want that person's love, or our good depends on getting their love, we will find ourselves acting out and perhaps not being true to ourselves, like responding. If we're responding freely, we might say, no, I choose not to do that. We find a way to say it. And so it's just important that we live in our integrity, because to the degree that we do not live in our integrity, and by the way, this includes the power to say yes. If you don't have the power to say no, you don't have the power to say yes. You can't do either of it fully. Everything is always colored by this wanting approval or wanting to control. So we want, now, when can we fall into wanting approval and wanting control? Or let's say my parents say to me, you belong, I want you to do that job, and in your heart you know that that is not for you. Come and work the family business. But your inner heart says, it's not for me. But I need their love, so I'll just go say yes. And give up whatever God has in mind for me to do, because I need that love, or I'll die. Really, that's what it comes down to. So this is not living in integrity. And we practice no manipulation of others. We neither manipulate nor do we permit manipulation to be done unto us. Because, you won't get crowns in heaven, right? For letting people run their trucks over you or manipulate you. So I say we do not manipulate. Why? We don't need to. I don't have to go get control over others. I used to be in charge of my own life, right? I don't need to go get the love of others. I need to be loved. So these feelings are lack feelings, and they're underneath all anger, grief, and any one of them can be traced to wanting approval and wanting to control. If you're not in clear decision, if you feel like something's bothering me, you will know that you're not in clear decision. So what is happening? You are not using your crystal clarity. You are not being the divine daughter and son, living the idea God has for you, the fulfillment God has for you. So, so we let go of that, knowing that if I want to live honestly, let's say someone asks you to marry them. Someone asks me to marry them. And I feel, well, I can't disappoint them. I'll have to say yes, if that's your training. So you see how suddenly, it diminishes your clarity and also takes you away from that good that is meant for you, that God has for you. Once you've been able to release these feelings of wanting approval, wanting control. And just the last thing on that is when do we get into this state? When we feel out of control. When we feel the opposite is when we exert that. So knowing that, we can say, well, there I am, wanting that love again. Well, why don't I just release that wanting love and be loved? I'll be loved. Why don't I just, release wanting the approval of that boss, that lawyer, that whatever, and lovingly be who I am. There are ways to lovingly be who you are, right? There are ways. So that's what we want to do. So a good thing, so be authentic to thine own self, be true, be authentic. And if you have a question about something, never feel pressed to make a decision about anything until you have the click, until you know that you know that you know that you know. So for instance, we have a choice to make, we don't know which way to go, we say, God, thank you for perfect guidance, that I am guided to make the perfect right choice. And we will always know what the right choice is because we will have this sense of well-being, joy, clarity will come over us. We will feel, yes, it will click. So if we're confused, we don't say, oh God, get me out of confusion. We language it constructively. God, guide me to make the choice that prospers me. The best choice for me. Okay? And then don't feel compelled because someone says you have to make the choice now, you get to decide now. Do not feel compelled. Right? You know that you will make the right choice at the perfect right time. If you rush, you will, that anxiety will color the effectiveness. So there's never any reason, at any time we're in confusion or conflict, we can just say, hold it, I've got to contemplate this, and I'll let you know when I know, okay? All right, so ask yourself this. This is powerful. We'll do some meditations tonight, but we don't have time to do all of them, so I'd like to give you techniques that you can use. Since we're building prototypes of prosperity and happiness and success, then ask yourself, when was the greatest last success in terms of prosperity or events of prosperity that happened to me? Ask yourself, when that prosperity happened, however you interpret that, that may be interpreted many ways. When that success, that prosperity, that bounty happened, whether it be money, love, or whatever it might be, what was present? What was going on? And then what you do, what we do is we make our high horizon becomes our bottom line. So you want that prototype of the most prosperous, most joyous time to be your new bottom line. Okay? And like I said, how does something become the new bottom line by me? When I say that it is. Because by that my word I am known. By my faith and by my word it is done unto me. So we need to train the mind to dwell on the highest ideas, and here it is. And so to help us and to give us strength to build up that energy of thinking in expanded terms, when was the last success, and what was going on at that time? And you may start to see dynamics that you want to introduce. This has to do with the acting like this, bringing it in the now, introduce into the now, what was present there. Bring this feeling into the now and make it your new bottom line that you are now going to expand upon. So say, okay, let's say I'm establishing that thing in new current ways that are appropriate now. We don't want to live in the past, but we want to bring the tendency to create success through right patterns of thinking into your life. So you bring it now, and you say, how can I expand upon this? So you're not only starting with good, you are expanding upon it. What can I add to it now? And this will begin to evolve and shape in your mind as that photograph that we need, that photograph that will then turn into the form in which you can be meditating on and so on. And so when you remind yourself that you are prosperous and you are successful, which is really the truth of your nature, unless we're falling in, like you say, hell, we call it hell for a moment, and we're in heaven, and then, when your true state, with all the junk is gone, is complete prosperity, love, joy, bounty, and all, right? So by remembering our successes and knowing that is the truth of us, and then we can empower that prototype now in our minds. We say, that is what my life is about. Remember we talked about the law of attraction? When you've acted as if so much, and you become one with that idea so much that you are literally a magnet attracting the good where that which you were seeking only a moment ago is now seeking you. And you develop magnetism. It's a law of attraction by what is going on inwardly. So these concepts now, our task, if we really want to do what God wants us to do, our task is to get these new concepts so deeply embedded in us that we don't even remember what it was like to think in terms of limitation and lack or failure. We do not remember that. We are so healed. That's a healing. You are not completely healed unless it's hard for you to remember. It becomes vaporized. Once you are healed, it's like our mind, it just releases it. It's like a vapor. There's no density anymore. All right? So we want to heal ourselves in divine success, divine prosperity by divine right. All right? Now, so ask yourself what was present. And as we said, remember your subconscious is the universal, subjective, creative mind of God. Your subconscious mind is one with the creative mind of God. It can do all for you. Your attitude toward it is like, this is my very best servant that I know if I send them to go take my clothes to the cleaner, they're going to do it, and I don't have to call them up, I don't have to find out, are you there yet? Are you doing it perfectly? Whom I can trust. I work with my own creative capacity. But the difference here is I know that my mind is one with God's mind. My subconscious mind is one with the creative subconscious of God. Therefore, I am relying upon God, the limitless capacity, the limitless prosperity to produce for me the whatever in perfect right ways. I am not depending on myself alone. I am radically relying on that which I am one with. That which I am one with. Okay? Now, so we have the process tuning up to the highest idea. And here's another great question. And this again is to heal all the memories. When you go after a goal, what happens? You've got your constructive consciousness, the degree that you've got it, your tools that you have acquired, but then there's also the stuff you haven't worked out. So the stuff comes up as an opportunity for us to heal it on the way to the goal. All right? So one thing you can say to advance your mind, to know what the good, the kingdom that you should be expecting for yourself is, if all I ever experienced in my life was love, let's just say for a moment that I never experienced any of the whatever I think I experienced, okay? If all I ever experienced in my life was love, what would I be expecting here? This is a powerful question, and will lead you right to what you should be expecting for yourself if you know your God